what we have here is quite a rather famous part of the ghetto. Now, the ghetto was down this street towards the big building at the bottom. It was about 1/3 the way down that street, and the Nazis then brought it back a bit. On the corner here of there's this unusual shaped building, which I think is a bit like a Bauhaus building, very modern, very very fashionable in the 1920s, particularly in Berlin, for example. But obviously this style came here. But at this spot here, next to this big building, and there was the bridge. There was a bridge of the small part of the ghetto, the large part of the ghetto, because what happened was this, is that the tram lines used to come through this street here, and there we have the tram lines still there. And so there's two places in the ghetto where the trams came in and then they went out. But they decided that this was too inconvenient, and instead of having the trams coming in and out, they put a wall down both sides. So this bit where we are now was actually out of the ghetto as from 1942. And in February 1942, a bridge was built over there. And you've seen the pictures, so the big high wall here, tram lines and big high wall. So the buildings on the right, or their forebears, because these were built after the war, were outside the ghetto.
So this is the northern edge?
Yes, effectively. Well, yes, because then this was actually, this part here of the ghetto was then closed, and the ghetto moved still further north after the deportations. But so this was what was called in the south. This is what's called the small ghetto, connected to the large ghetto by means of a bridge. We have the church as well, also in there, which was outside the ghetto at all times. It was never in the ghetto. Also, another church here. It's new now. A new one's been built there. But this was a church. There was a church here, and the priest applied to the Germans for permission not to be in the ghetto, and obviously they granted it. And but as it turned out, it was probably just as well, because one of the points where people actually smuggling took place of food and other things. Now in Yad Vashem in Jerusalem, they've got part of the road from here. they took it, but this is original here. Original cobbled. I'd like this. This is something I think should be preserved. It's very historically important. And the orphanage was the Janusz Korczak orphanage was behind the church somewhere down there. Yeah. Ulica Krochmalna is the next one down, which was a very very poor area here. You got parts of it which were very wealthy, but I mean before the war. But this was poor. So even before the Nazis came here, it was lots of people they had next to nothing to eat and all the rest of it. Maybe they weren't starving, maybe they weren't dying of typhus, but it was very very poor.
So was there any old? Was there also a gypsy area in the wartime?
A what? Sorry?
The gypsy
area. What's that mean?
The Roma. Gypsy?
Oh, gypsy. I'm sorry. Yes, not here in Warsaw, but there were another place in Łódź. They had a gypsy camp where the gypsies were all murdered. They put them there. But the gypsies largely live in Western Poland.
Oh
Yeah. I mean, there's certain like Slovakia has very high gypsy population along the northern border with Poland, for example. But don't get many gypsies around here.